What's up, Bills fans? Yes, here I am. I'm doing another video after a loss, which I see I was accused of. And the reason I did is because, as exhilarating and as happy and very shocked as the Green Bay win made me, I said, let me wait. Before I go pumping my chest out and beating the Bills drum, the bloviating drum of we've now arrived, we've changed this, this nebulous thing we call culture, or they call culture, or, all these things like momentum and continuity. They're very nebulous. What are they? They don't. There's no substance to them, in my opinion. You go to a now 3-12, at the time 2-12 Oakland team that had been playing better football as of late, specifically at home. And after an early touchdown, which happened rather quickly, the drive was aided with some penalties. And then on the next drive, after another 3-and-out, Orton throws an INT, and here we go. It is instant. We are into safe mode. Risk aversion, check it down fiesta. No way in no way, shape, or form are we going to throw the football down the field ever again, unless we are at the precipice. Unless we absolutely have to, will we take chances down the field, because we brought in all these wide receivers. We talked them up. We had our offensive coordinator saying throwing it to the clouds, yada yada yada, and these little sideline passes to Chandler, these little dunks down to Fred Jackson, these crossing routes, these two 1-yard crossing routes that on 3rd and 10s is just that are going nowhere. There was like 5 or 6 straight 3-and-outs to a very beat up Oakland defense. Everybody will talk about we lost Darius and Gilmore during the game. Yeah, go look at Oakland's IR list. Go look at the names on their current roster. That team played inspired football yesterday. Inspired. Specifically on the offensive line. Specifically on their defensive line. They beat the Bills' brains in on both lines of scrimmage. Beat their brains in. And we have a head coach who champions himself as an offensive line guru. Physical power run game. Everything, these people at One Bills Drive, I will tell you something about them. They're like a bunch of carny barkers. The carny barkers used to go to the town carnival or there's a state fair, something like that, and you see this like thing, and there's like some sideshow or some game or something. You see this guy running off at the mouth, and he's trying to get you to come in and pay a little money to see what he's got behind the tent or whatever. And out of curiosity, you want to look. But in the rational part of your mind, you're thinking, that's probably just a bunch of BS. But it's still something pulling you to make you want to, divvy up the little chump change to go see what it is. He's talking it up. And that's what they are over there. They sit there and they laud the moves that they make. They champion what they do in the offseason. Well, we're doing this. We don't mean to be, flippant about it, but this is what we're doing. We're trading these picks, or we're signing this guy. We're bringing this guy in to do this and do that. And then when it's time to, up the ante and put proof in the pudding, it's like, where is it? What are we looking at? We're looking at these. They play offense like they're in quicksand. Like a guy gets the ball and he just cannot move. can't. He's just like, oh, everything is just so lethargic and labored and lackadaisical. I know there's a lot of L's there, but my God, all equal losses. So Bills, right? Just very, very Bills. And that's why I really, I just got a really, I got a strong sense, just from on Twitter and that everybody's talking about, and specifically the younger Bills fans, the best win. And I can imagine for a lot of younger Bills fans, guys in their early 20s, late teens, this is the best win for you guys. It is. So, what other great wins do you have? Maybe the New England win in 11. The New England win in 11 at home. What else? If you were old enough to remember the one in 03, the opener, the 31 nothing. That the biggest win for Bills. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. It's I don't want to hear about 8-8 being passed off as progress. To me, that's no. It's putting a pink dress on a pig and calling it a princess. But in this case, we're calling it progress. They'll be calling it progress, culture change. But I like the team in this from a standpoint of I believe they have talent, right? Defensively, I believe they have talent. I believe they have perimeter players that have talent. I believe they have running backs who have talent. I just don't think the systems are in place to emphasize or exploit that talent and put that talent on display or utilize that talent to its utmost potential or capability. It's not there. We saw more creativity, more up and down, a little more, innovation with Gailey's offense. And that's saying something. And I feel like Gailey had less perimeter talent to work with. He's got better receivers here, better running back depth. Yet, again, even a bigger indictment for the offensive linemen, albeit one playing a different position. Well, two are, but still a guard. Urbic was the right guard. Now he's the left guard. Piers was the right tackle. Now he's the right guard. Sean Henderson being the one new face. These were all Gailey's starting offensive line. They could run the ball under him pretty well. Now all of a sudden, against the ex-NFL offensive line coach, they are dead. They get bullied. Whatever he's selling or having Pat Morris sell them, they're not buying it. They're not ingesting whatever he's cooking up because it's just, they made them look like the 85 Bears yesterday, that defense, from a standpoint of stopping the run and getting after Kyle Orton. And from the Raider offensive line, they're the worst rushing team in football. But yet they were able to muscle up and start knocking the Bills off the ball. And then we're all going, Darius wasn't there. Oh, my God. Well, guess what? Defensive lines play with injuries. Teams get injuries. That's what happens. You got to find ways to win in the NFL. Everybody's got injuries this time of year. Nobody's playing at 100%. Nobody's going to go into games with the 11 guys' names on offense and defense we all sat down and wrote down on a piece of paper in June or July or August or whenever we did it and say, well, this is our team. This is our starters, and this is the main depth guy. You're never going to end with that. It's never going to play out that way. It never does. Some guys emerge. Some guys don't play as good. Some guys come out of nowhere. Whatever. It happens. That's the way the league is. Guys get hurt. That's just it's a turnstile personnel wise, and this team is just not built to last long term. It's not. You cannot win games trying to pitch shutouts in the NFL. You cannot win games like they did the Green Bay game where your offense doesn't score a touchdown. They're kicking field goals. We were complaining about that in week 2 against Miami, kicking field goals. Complaining about that in week whatever, settling for field goals at the Jets where they have all these turnovers. Granted, they were able to sprinkle some touchdowns in there, but still kicking field goals. It's maddening. It is beyond maddening that I this organization doesn't look at the fact that we have not had a legitimate playable answer at the most important position going on 20 years. It's going on 20 years. Jim Kelly hasn't put on a Bills uniform. Last time he would have done it would have been in 97, which was at the end of the 96 season. And you can sprinkle in Flutie. But after that, nothing. I mean, you had a little spritz of Bledsoe in there, little spritz of, you had little spritzes of guys, but nothing that lasted more than 5 games in terms of them peaking and then bottoming out. At what point is this organization is like, we can have all these fancy toys, whether it be running backs, wide receivers, whatever, but in tight ends they don't care about. Nah, those big guys who run down the middle of the field and are super mismatch nightmares and catch red zone touchdowns and get easy first downs because they're so big and they're impossible to cover almost. We don't want those guys. They just seem like the tight end position for them is just we have Scott Chandler. Oh my God, it's settling. They settle. The Bills settle, and they expect us to settle with them. And I refuse. I won't do it. I won't let myself. It's just these indignities come in bunches. Last night, of course, I sit down and I watch, because I'm a football junkie, I watch the Cardinals and the Seahawks, and you see Lynch, and he's just creating highlight reels for the ages. I swear to God, this guy is just bitch smacking people all over the field with stiff arms, and he runs into the end zone, and he jumps in the air and says, "Hold my dick." And you know what? He deserves to do that after that run, because that was amazing. Amazing. Just like the one in Seattle. It'll be played on highlight reels forever. This guy has stamped his place in NFL history. The Bills can't handle him. Oh no, this guy, he doesn't fit our room. He doesn't fit our culture. We're trying to change the culture here. Oh man, we got to get rid of him and start chasing our tails, wasting first-round draft picks, and signing a 30-year-old running back to 2 contract extensions. And we love Fred, and I like him too. But my God, the man's had one 1,000-yard season in his career. He gets hurt a lot. He's hurt every year. He's a nice guy. He's a great ambassador for your organization. But Jesus Christ, can we just please, let's just stop already. Let's just stop with that. Bryce Brown. I mean, we got all these running backs, but nothing. Got all the wrong people trying to put him in position to make plays, and they're putting him in position to fail. They're not putting him in position to make plays. Maybe Bryce Brown is. I don't know. I feel bad for Fred, because I think he plays hard and he tries hard. I know I bashed him a little bit just now, but still, like the end of the game where he was running with that screen, Orton had to run for his life and just dump it to him, which he was very used to doing every day, and Fred had the long run down right before the Woods touchdown. It was like, This guy's out there killing himself at his age trying to do something for this team. And it just, as harsh as I sound, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't come to that. It shouldn't have come to this. They got up there in August or whenever they did. I believe it was right after the draft. And they just, again, they championed that this team would be a playoff team. And I know a lot of organizations do that. But there's such a huge disconnect in what they said and what's been done with the way that they were going to run offense, the way they were going to play offense. And E.J. Manuel, for example, all of a sudden he goes from a guy. They were 2-2 when they benched him. 2-2. That's not the end of the fucking world. Time isn't going to stop. And you hamstring yourself a little bit because now all of a sudden you don't have a quarterback who can move. Okay, that's number one. So defenses don't really have to worry about that. Even though he didn't run anyway, when he did, he was seemed very skittish about it, which I think was coached into him, or should I say overcoached into him, because they wanted the guy to play in a bubble. They don't want him to make mistakes. They don't want him to take chances. They talk about taking shots, but they don't want to live with the repercussions. How about you might get a contact penalty? You might get a pass interference. There's other things that can happen. But we got to watch a rookie quarterback yesterday just chuck it up to a no-name receiver and him go up and make a play. That's what teams do in the NFL now, because that's the way the game is played. They just want to run into the line, take safe little, they want to, matriculate the ball down the field. No, you get chunk plays. There's no chunk plays that happen on this team. I swear, we can sit here and talk about it all the time. They look like they play offense in quicksand. They really do. As good as the defense is sometimes, they play fast and they play hard. But you can't expect them to go out and have these games like they had, against Aaron Rodgers all the time. You can't expect them to go out and just shut quarterbacks and other offenses down left and right, because it's not going to happen. It's not, because those are professionals on the other side of the ball, paid to play, and they're providing a path of resistance. And to try to do that all the time is just, and not score touchdowns and not give them a break where they feel like they have to just get three, because his philosophy is we're going to punt and they're going to get a 3 and out. We're going to get the ball back. All the onus is on this defense all the time, and it's not right, and it's not going to win. Long term, it's not, because the offense doesn't hold up its end. If special teams has a bad day, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Defense gives up some plays, it's the end of the world. Because this offense can't do it. It just can't do it. It doesn't have it in it. It doesn't. And he put Orton in, a 32-year-old journeyman, and said, well, he's going to give us the best chance to win. So you know what we got, Bills fans? We're in the same place we were at the end of 13 as we are at the end of 14. We don't know about the quarterback. No answers on EJ, nothing. All the fan bases are saying he can't play. And I will implore them. I'm not saying he can't play. I'm not going to say he's be the savior. I'm not going to say anything about that. But I'm saying after 14 games, everybody wants to win their fantasy league with the guy. And nobody's winning their fantasy league with a rookie quarterback. I'm sorry. They're not doing it. It's all statistically based, what they want. And if you want statistics, Kyle Orton is the worst ranked starter in the NFL who's not a rookie. Go look it up. The worst rated starter that's not a rookie, according to ESPN. They use a different quarterback formula than the regular QBR. And having watched him play, he gets a lot of garbage time yards and a lot of garbage time touchdowns. He waits. The defenses have to back up for him to start making hay. Unless you're the Jets, who have no cornerbacks. So you tell me. We don't know about the quarterback. The young one we have on the team had his balls cut off. And this guy is paying for a paycheck, and he could choose to leave. He can choose to stay. He has no loyalty ties to the Bills. Has no. Maybe feels like there's a better gig out there, or something he can get. It's a thin quarterback market, or feels like he's going to have a hard time here, which maybe will, maybe won't, depending on what they tell him behind closed doors. He can choose to walk out the door. He won't be missed. He'll just be another guy in a long line of guys. It's an ever-growing list. And until they figure that quarterback, I mean, I made the video after the opener in 12. This team needs a quarterback, and I'm still saying it. It's almost 2015. I could have made the video in 2005, and it would be, I could just, again, I've said this before, I could play it on a loop. I can play it on a loop. They're going to get new wide receivers. They're going to get new quarterback. They're going to get new corners. They're going to get new safeties until you have a quarterback who is in place for an extended period of time. You have zilch. You have nothing. You have nothing. Nothing. There's nothing there. Lots of teams win 8 games. Lots of teams go 8-8. Lots of teams win 9-7. Bills have done it. What do they do next year? I think they went 5-11, followed up by a bunch of 7-9s. Sprinkle in 4-12 in there, followed up by a bunch of 6-10s. Now they're 8-8. Progress. Culture change. Continuity. Come on. Continuity is bullshit. Good organizations, and I'll wrap this video up. Good organizations acknowledge their mistakes, and they excise their mistakes, whether they be head coaching mistakes. And if we got a good organization, first of all, they didn't hire a bad head coach. Number one. Number two, they have, obviously, number one is they have a good quarterback. Number two, they have a pretty decent head coach who has a decent relationship with the quarterback. And obviously they have a good general manager who knows how to, infuse that team with sustainable talent, because he knows the turnover that happens in the league, whether it be free agents, injuries, age, whatever. And the Bills, we have this defense and we're championing this defense, but you're wasting time. Guys get old. Guys leave. Guys get injured. There's still no quarterback. So you're just wasting time. Because you're sitting there just throwing boogers at the wall, seeing which one sticks. That's what you're doing right now. As what they're doing, I should say. As an organization, they're doing things to galvanize the fan base. Ooh, we got this guy. Ooh, we got this guy. It gets us excited for a few minutes. Then during the season, as it plays out, we always come back to the same place we started. Where's the quarterback? We don't know if we have one. Maybe we do, but maybe we don't. He's young. He looks apart, but we don't know. Head coaches clueless a lot of times. It looks like he doesn't put his side of the ball in good positions to make plays. It's obvious. Defensive guys, obviously, he can get the good defensive coordinators because he doesn't want nothing to do with the defense. It's obvious. And I've stated in a few videos that the defensive coordinators that we had have done a great job. But we've basically got the Syracuse coaching staff on offense. We've got the Syracuse offensive coaching staff, and they look the part. They look like they are in over their head. Because the Bills, I will tell you, they have 4 games so far in this regime that have reached 30 points. And you want me to tell you who they're against? 2 teams. They have 3 against the Jets, both this year. Their highest was the 43, the 38, 37 last year at home, quarterbacked by EJ. And then Toronto game. The loss to Atlanta in Toronto. That's their 30-point games. against a defense that was not good anymore, should I say. The Bills seem to match up against pretty well against a team that just is, you know, the Jets were 8-8 last year. They're going to be 3-13 probably this year. Miami stuck it out with Ryan Tannehill. He's getting better. He's making plays. He's throwing a ball down the field. He's running around a little bit. He was beat up for a few years because of the offensive line and whatever, but guy's getting better. They improved their offensive line. They improved their offense. They had some hiccups along the way, but still, I'd go 9-7 this year. He's young. I take that. But still, it's just you got to get a guy and just live with the warts that a young quarterback is going to give sometimes. And this team just seems like, we don't want to do that. We want it now. We've lost all these years. Lose the right way at least. Maybe the kid is going to, you got to take your lumps. Think the Colts drafted Andrew Luck. They didn't. There's no guarantee the guy is going to be good. There's been tons of first-round draft picks who ended up sucking, first overall quarterbacks who just didn't end up being good for whatever reason. I don't care if he was the golden child, even though he's turned out to be one. Those are rare. First of all, you got to hit the lottery to get one of those. Number two, there's no guarantee that he's going to be good. Ended up being good, but still, for every Andrew Luck, there's a, Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf or Heath Schuler or Dave Klingler or Rick Meyer, you name it. For every guy you can name that ended up being good, I could name you David Carr. Ironic I said his name right after yesterday. All right, Bills fans, we're just in off-season mode. We know they're going to go to New England. I don't know what kind of game they're going to put up. If they're going to be running for the bus or they're going to try to put up an effort, which, in my heart of hearts, I hope they do. I never sit here as hard as I seem to be on them in these videos. I'm never rooting for them to lose. When I sit here and watch, it destroys me when they lose. I can't even do the videos anymore after games. I'm so, even if they win, I have so much going on emotionally and physically, I just can't. And make any kind of sense, even I'm not saying I do anyway. But, all right, guys, you have a good one. Take care. Enjoy your holiday week. Sure, everybody deserves it. Work hard, and it's a good time of year to just relax and reflect and enjoy simple stuff. And it's sad when you're so used to the losing and used to the failure, and the expectations are just not where they need to be, and they talk about it, but they never prove it. They never. And mainly it's Russ, whoever his minions are at the time. They go out there and they bloviate about continuity and culture and this and that, but nothing ever comes to fruition and nothing ever bears any fruit. It's just empty rhetoric to me. It really is, and. I've stated this before several times. I sound like a broken record. I don't want to see him at the end of the year talking. I don't want to hear anything he's got to say. I've heard it all before. It's done. The gig is up. It's over. You do not speak for the organization anymore, nor should you. You should go back to putting your little packages together for the season ticket holders or the advertisements or the marketing, wherever is you do, and stick to that. Because you're not a football guy. I know you probably think you are one, but you're not. Nor should you try to be, because you're out of your element. As evidence, 15 years, maybe 16. Who knows? Odds are it will be. And until they get a clue over there and start building the team, stop building the team ass backwards like they have been doing. Well, we're going to build a team and then go find a quarterback. No, you need to get a quarterback and then have the team. Because if you don't put all your eggs into the quarterback basket and try to get that, you have nothing. And I'm done, Bills fans. All right, have a good one. Take care. Enjoy your holiday week.